Hi there. Oh yeah, coming at you with the video. Um, Kind of a mixed week. I'll do two videos on this because the other one's kind of more personal. But RPG video. I went to my friendly local gaming store, having promoed an upcoming Castle Falkenstein game all week. Went there on Sunday to said if you want to play, come in on Sunday, get characters made, session 0. That whole thing. Went there on a Sunday, not a sniff. Nothing. And I have held up my hands, I have admitted defeat. The monster that is D&D 5th has completely taken over. Now, it has been suggested by friends that maybe I should just, if I'm keen to run a game at a store, maybe I should just run D&D 5th. And I am resisting that for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not a particular fan of it. I mean, it's alright, but there are better games out there. And in terms of introducing people to RPGs, I think there are better games out there. Two, I don't want the extra expense. For a game, for a rule system, I'm never really going to use. Not when, again, I have other things I can use better. But the third reason is a bit of, I suppose, sort of pride on my part. Back in the 80s, when I first get into the hobby, 80s into the 90s, most of my friends, particularly those in Maybole, were playing, they were playing MERP, which I used, and Traveller, which I used as well. But eventually, a lot of it came down to GURPS. And an awful lot of GURPS was being played. Now, GURPS is an alright system, but again, it's not one that particularly interested me. And so I ended up, not in a conscious way, but I ended up sort of gravitating towards having different systems because that's what attracted me. So when everyone was playing GURPS, when I ran a game, they were getting something different. Not just different as in me being the GM and the way I run games, but different in terms of the setting, the system, and so on. Now again, sometimes I was running Star Wars D6. It was a fairly solid system. Sometimes it was Traveller, whatever. But then sometimes it would be, a couple of times I ran Nephilim, which perfectly fine. Perfectly great setting, what the hell do you do with it? I would love actually for either a new version of Nephilim to come out or for KSM to let the license expire and let someone else take it up. Because I think it would make a fantastic Savage Worlds setting. Or I would run Cult, or, top of the line Castle Falkenstein. And I kind of feel that way now. Given the stranglehold that D&D 5th has at the moment in that shop, I want to be the person that offers something else. I don't want to be the person just offering the same old nonsense everyone else is doing. And yes, as I say, a couple of friends have said, well, why don't you just run D&D 5th? Just run it. So you're running a game in the place. And there's a certain logic to that. But there's also, for me, there's an immediate pushback on that because I don't want the bully to win. And it really does feel like the sort of push on D&D at the moment is so aggressive, and the fan base at times so rabid, that I don't want it to win. I want to see other games come into the store. That's the whole point of RPGs. There's more than one game out there. Even, I mean, there's more than one genre out there, but even in terms of fantasy, even if I left Falkenstein to the side, because it comes under the fantasy umbrella, but it's kind of removed from your sort of classic sort of Tolkien-esque. There's MERP if you want to go old school. There's Palladium if you really want to go old school. Of modern day games, Dragon Age is there. I could run Shintar using Savage Worlds. I can, run Blue Rose. The notion that D&D has just a stranglehold is frustrating and upsetting, because I really want to get back to my running games on a Sunday at Settlers, but right now it's not happening. And I've got to that point now where I feel I have to do one of two things. Either I hold my hand up and accept things and take a step back, or at the moment just put myself in there time and time again. Hey, let's do Falkenstein. Hey, let's do Dragon Age. Let's do Blue Rose, and just get stomped on through not by deliberate action, but by disinterested inaction. And it's kind of depressing. But if the choice is not run something, that I can actually feel passionate about and involved in and really put the time in and give a good game of, or follow the herd and run a system I'm not a particular fan of, just to have a game, I'd rather not do the latter, to be honest. I don't think the games I would run with D&D 5th would be particularly interesting, because I wouldn't be interested. I wouldn't be fully engaged. So that's kind of where I stand on that. It's a bit frustrating. But it is what it is. And I guess I just have to wait for the wheel to come round. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon with another video.